50, 60, 70. When I saw a documentary, I saw something online where there's a black guy who's got a false eye. He got shot in his face. He's a big time gangster. You seen that guay? Like he's a
yeah.
And he was talking about
real hard geezer without the H. Just A-R-D, proper R, didn't it?
When he was 9 years old, he was talking about how his dad used to just punch him in his face, like big man. He goes, I can't, he was crying. He goes, I can't understand how my dad at 9 would punch me in my face because I stole a refresher sweet, you know, or a pack of Tic Tacs. He would punch me in my stomach until I peed blood. He would break my teeth, break my nose. He would beat me mercilessly days on end for no reason other than he said he despised me. I was ashamed to him and I was a disgrace. So it was no wonder this twisted, damaged inner child of this man made him end up being a gangster, shooting other people because he wanted to take his pain on other people.
Yeah.
So R. Kelly wanted the power he felt he lacked when his sister forced him to have this allegedly came out, forced him to have this unwarranted abuse.
Yeah.
He wanted to dominate that over these young girls as well, which he was doing. And this gangster guy was doing it over more vulnerable. He bullied people. Whatever his dad gave him, he would take it out kids at school to the point he became a gangster to do it to other people. Because it was about, but he deep down was in fear. But he wanted to not interject, but project that fear that he had in himself or what his father put in him onto others, so he could almost play that out.
Yeah. It's very interesting you say that because it works in certain ways. Sometimes the people act out and perpetrate it against others, or sometimes they make themselves available to be victims because they feel invisible. And that when they are being, the attention they get from the abuser is still allowing them to be seen, to feel, it mimics in them, temporarily in their system, that there's feelings of love or that they matter or something like that, you know. But when it comes to the perpetrators, there's a different thing going on, because I know that would, you know, again, people will ask questions, but why would somebody like Robert Kelly or why would somebody like Tim Westwood, who have availability, women, grown women, adult women who would be happy to make themselves available, why would they still engage in these practices? But it's a power, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
because it's not about, because it's about the domination. But there's all, and because there's even I can even imagine scenarios based on what was said in the documentary about Westwood, like for example, where a young lady, maybe very young, teenage, let's say above age, though, like 18, 19, 20, whatever the case is, right? They may have signed up for the after party. Yes. They've gone to the after party, but you know, when it really comes down to it and they've kind of checked the play, a woman's always has a right to change her mind, right? So they might want to cut, they might want to leave, but like something in the mind of the perpetrator, who are you to refuse me? And something has started now, so I must finish, yes. Right? I must finish. Or for some of these kind of perpetrators, they might be married men with like or have a particular special partner in their life, right? But they're ashamed to carry out certain sexual acts or experiment with that partner. So they want to use the victims now to experiment with. So that opens up another trapdoor or another window.
I think it's a psychosexual damage. For example, look at Elvis. He met Priscilla at 14. And the minute Priscilla...
Facts. Very, 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 very infrequently spoke about in the mainstream, though.
Rock and roll star, he married his 14-year-old cousin. Right? Facts. Right? Now, Elvis said Priscilla said once she got pregnant for Elvis, he never touched her sexually again, because his issue was he had to have underage girls or young girls because he knew they were virgins. And the idea that a child coming out of that vagina turned him off and repulsed him, because he can only relate woman to his mom, because he had a slightly unhealthy attachment to his mom. He knew that it was because he was a twin, that his older twin died, and the mom poured all that attention onto him, even over the dad, right? So he grew up with this slightly warped view of women, but he could only relate to mothers on a non-sexual way. If a woman got pregnant, he could not have sex with this woman. What's the name
of that book? What's the name of that teacher, brother? Is it Madonna Whore Syndrome or Madonna? Yeah.
I made the Mary Magdalene Whore and the Mary and the Madonna syndrome.
Is it kind of thing where some men struggle to see?
Some men have
Did you see that women have different dimensions?
Now we're not talking about pedophilia here, right?
No. Talking about adult.
We have to make that. Let's make that distinction here.
Yeah.
Different. These are guys who specifically choose girls 15, 16, 17. They're not prepubescent girls. These are girls who have gone through puberty, that they manipulate, they violate, and they gaslight into sexual predatory behavior, which is illegal and which is wrong, and which this person knows is wrong what they're doing. Tim Westwood specifically targeted black girls. There wasn't any other race but black girls. Tim Westwood, interesting enough, was the son of a vicar or a priest. So it makes you wonder what went on, how he saw religion and psychosexuality playing out to some degree.
And what's his my thing would be his fascination with black culture. And maybe was it part of some sort of psychosexual acting out where like these guys that are rap and created this culture, this tough masculine culture, right? These hyper masculine cultures, like they are the alpha males and stuff like that. And then so to access a black woman is like, and they're exotic, and it would just be an interesting case study. It'd just be an interesting conversation.
I think so as well, but I think it's changed now. So I think back in the 80s, 90s when he was doing this stuff, there wasn't the Me Too movement. So it was all in plain sight. This was Jimmy Savile got away with it for so long. Because at the end of the day, it was
the culture. Yeah, that's right. The culture isn't what it is now. That's what we have to appreciate, right? We have to appreciate.
I mean, I was in New York in the 80s and the 90s. I knew guys when I was in my 20s at the time, who would be dating younger girls, which was obviously as a Muslim, I thought this was wrong. But even in the Islamic community, you got this view that a 9-year-old is open to be married for marriage. We obviously would take issue with that, but there's certain people that the bachelor boy culture and.
Oh no, you never. The bachelor boy, that's getting dark now. Then we have to leave that. That's a series. That's not even oh my God. Now
you just little boys and little girls and then have sex with them.
Yeah,
right? They say this difficult and then there's a verse about this and this. So this kind of power over children.
There's a common theme though, isn't it? There's a common theme. Yeah. There's a common theme.
Now let's quickly just look on how to heal the inner child, because people might want some.
Yeah, got to give them a takeaway. We haven't got that long left, so it'd be nice if we could just give them some takeaways.
Very quickly. Number one, there's 8 steps to this, yeah? And the first one would be to acknowledge your inner child. Number 2, validate what happened, the trauma. Number 3, identify the form of neglect you experienced. Number 4, embrace your emotions, no matter how difficult they are. Number 5.
Don't go so quick, my bro. So that means accepting sometimes when you feel a certain way, not trying to hurry past those emotions, but being able to sit and work. When they say sit and work through it, because sometimes when we're feeling messed up as human beings, we can quickly look for a solution and quickly move on, and that means comfort eating. Sometimes that might mean some kind of substance misuse. That might mean some sort of promiscuous sexual behavior, but something to just take the pain away.
Alcoholism. Yeah. So did you get those, or should I go through them again?
Keep going, my bro. Keep going, my bro. But we're just looking at each of them a little bit, just a little bit to
Right. So number 6, take steps to fill the gap. Want to comment on that?
Yeah. So that fill the gap as in self-care, valuing yourself, but also like doing things that reiterate that you value yourself. Because it's one thing saying I value myself, but then you don't treat yourself in that way. So you have to treat yourself like you would treat a best friend.
Correct. Mend the hurt by helping others, actually.
That gives humans value. When we do good deeds, that gives us value and good for our mental health, sense of self.
Yes, a good locus of evaluation. And number 8, heal and release your inner child. And that was with therapy. That's by visiting a professional psychiatrist or professional
psychotherapist, psychologist, counselor.
Because you need to heal and release your inner child. And until you do, you will be displaying self-destructive behavior, and you won't necessarily know why you're doing what you're doing. Because this is all subconscious stuff that's deep within your psyche. Your soul is being damaged and you're not aware of it. And whatever you do not deal with in the subconscious will wreak havoc in the conscious. It will wreak havoc. And this is why you find this behavior. So these young girls, they without knowing, they're becoming like they're like a firefly or a light or a torch for these predators. Allegedly, like R. Kelly. I'm not allegedly. He's not guilty.
He done out here. He done. Robert Kelly is finished.
They're like Tim Westwood, right? These are predators who size this up, and they get into these key positions of celebrity purely. I mean, this is what they said about Savile. Savile got into that position. Savile said, I thought of what job can I do?
He maneuvered, basically. He maneuvered.
And get away with it. And he became a philanthropist. He opened up, he worked in
children's hospitals, children's hospitals. That's like letting Dracula into a blood bank.
It's true, he had the key. He allegedly abused those two same black twins from Wales we spoke about. He abused those two girls because they were in Broadmoor.
Yeah.
He could do whatever he wanted.
And a private flat. Did he ever, not private flat, but like a little guest room,
He had his own guest room. He had his own. Imagine he could walk and do whatever he wanted, so he had carte blanche. So
it's so disturbing. It's hard to actually take it serious. It's almost like my tone might even sound almost comedy-esque, not because it's in any way funny, but almost like it's difficult to read the gravity of what went on and was allowed in the public domain. Not what went on, but what went on in plain sight. That's what I'm talking about. What we mentioned last time, the system. There's systems that produce people, not men, but people like this. And there's systems that protect people like this.
Yes.
That's what I find disturbing.
And I think as well, if you're listening and you feel any of this means anything to you, or if you're feeling triggered or hurt, we are here. We are not attacking you in any way. We're not saying we're saying you are the victim. We're saying that whatever's been done to you, whether as happening now or happened when you were younger.
It was wrong. It was wrong. You didn't deserve that.
There's no justification for it on no level. It was wrong. It was abuse. You have our empathy. You have our love. You have our support. And we would desperately ask you to please seek professional help. If anything that we've heard from us today, anything that as means anything, please seek help. There is help out there for you. You can help to overcome this stuff. And it's possible to survive this stuff. And as a survivor, not just be a victim, but be a survivor.
It's possible to survive and to thrive, but it takes work. But the first place is, as Solomon has said, the first place is to accept what happened or acknowledge what happened and seek out professional help.
Yes.
That was a really, I think that's a really powerful way to end the conversation for today. And I appreciate you coming by and spending the time this week. And thank you to our listeners who have stayed for the duration, and we'll catch you soon by God's grace with something powerful and thought-provoking. And if like Solomon mentioned, if this even listens to this show, this episode was a little bit rough, then do exercise some self-care and do something fun. Go for a walk, do some deep breathing, whatever it is, but just to take the edge off and to chill yourself out.
And you are not at fault.
You are not at fault. So stay safe wherever you do, and take care of yourselves, guys, and we'll catch you for our next episode of the High Caliber Man podcast. Peace.
Peace.